Let's jump right into this explainer, because there's a really confusing reality about UK pensions we need to unpack today. It's the kind of thing that could absolutely change your financial future. Look, whether you're decades away from retiring or you're already enjoying those post-work years, the rules dictating what you get and when you get it are literally shifting beneath our feet. And relying on outdated assumptions, well, that could end up being a very costly mistake.
So think about this little puzzle for a second. How is it possible that two people with totally identical work histories end up facing completely different retirement rules? I mean, they both put in the exact same hours, they both paid their national insurance contributions for basically their whole lives, and they live in the exact same country. Yet the system treats them entirely differently. It sounds like a massive administrative error, right? But actually, it's completely by design.
The surprisingly simple answer to that puzzle: the year you were born. That one single detail dictates your entire timeline. And because of this, right now, millions of people across the UK are making massive life decisions based on information that just doesn't apply to them anymore. People are checking the wrong pension age, they're completely overlooking gaps in their record, and they're missing out on huge opportunities to secure their future.
To clear up all this confusion, we're going to break the rules down into 4 specific age groups. First, those who are already retired. Second, folks approaching retirement. Third, our midlife planners. And finally, younger workers.
Let's kick things off with our first group, those already retired, specifically folks born before April 1960.
We really need to dismantle this dangerous assumption that just because your pension hits your bank account every month, the paperwork is somehow finished. It's not. For instance, if you go through a major life change, like losing a spouse or a civil partner, that almost always alters some seriously complicated pension inheritance rules. If you just assume the old rules still apply, it can cost you dearly. Taking the time to check your current position brings invaluable peace of mind. The folks who stay engaged and informed during retirement, they're the ones who avoid problems long before they become expensive headaches.
And this perfectly illustrates a hidden tax trap that catches so many retirees completely off guard. Just look at how tight this is. The full new state pension is now worth more than £12,500 a year. But the personal allowance, the amount you're actually allowed to earn tax-free, that remains frozen at £12,570. So your state pension leaves you with virtually zero breathing room before you smash right into that frozen tax allowance ceiling.
Because that margin is literally razor thin. Bringing in even a tiny bit of extra cash from savings or maybe some part-time work can snap that hidden tax trap shut. Adding just small amounts from a workplace pension or a little side gig can easily trigger a totally unexpected tax bill if you aren't paying close attention. Retirement definitely isn't the time to stop looking at your finances. Actually, it's the time to look a whole lot more carefully. Small misunderstandings here, they can compound for years.
Moving right along to our second group, those approaching retirement. The golden rule here: verify, don't assume.
In this phase of life, timing is quite literally everything. It's incredibly common to base your retirement plans on what used to be the rule, or maybe on a friend's timeline. You think, oh, Dave retired at this age, so I will too. But the reality is that your exact state pension age depends exclusively on your own precise date of birth. Assuming otherwise is a recipe for a sudden, jarring reality check when you suddenly realize your planned retirement date is still years away from your actual eligibility. Ouch.
So to avoid those messy complications, financially organized retirees stick to 3 really straightforward steps. First, they verify their exact age using official government resources. Second, they diligently open and read all their official correspondence. No, the administration doesn't just happen automatically. And third, they actually ask questions and follow instructions when things aren't clear.
All right, on to our third group, midlife planners. We're talking folks in their late 40s to early 60s. Now, if you fall into this group, you still possess one of the absolute most powerful financial advantages imaginable, and that is time. But because life isn't always a straight line, you've got to use that time to check your national insurance record for gaps. Common everyday life events, like taking a career break, caring for a family member, spending some time living abroad, or even dealing with periods of unemployment, these can easily leave holes in your record. The goal here isn't to panic. It's simply to understand exactly where you stand so you can patch up any gaps while you still have the runway to do it.
And hey, while you're looking into that, take a minute to review the tax allowances available to couples. Every single year, people discover they could have been benefiting from a tax allowance, but they simply never realized it existed. Rules change, thresholds shift all the time. What didn't apply to you 5 years ago might actually offer a huge benefit today. Financial security really is just a series of small, sensible checks exactly like this one.
Which brings us to our final group, younger workers. Here, it's all about the power of time. It is so incredibly common for younger folks to just assume that retirement planning is something that can completely wait until later. But we all know later arrives a heck of a lot faster than we expect, and decades have this funny way of just slipping by. Look, the goal right now isn't to become totally obsessed with finance or to spend your weekends reading dry, boring pension documents. The real goal is just to build a baseline of awareness. Why? Because awareness creates options, and options create flexibility. The people who end up having the most freedom later in life are simply the ones who gave themselves the time to save, to learn, to adapt, and yes, to recover from the inevitable mistakes we all make.
To build that kind of flexibility, you really must understand the fundamentals of tax-efficient saving. You see, a lot of people hyper-focus on exactly how much they earn, but they completely forget to focus on how much they actually keep. Utilizing tools like ISAs, individual savings accounts, plays a massive role in long-term financial planning in the UK. It literally shields your growth from taxes and maximizes the sheer power of your money over time. It's an absolute game changer. Let's bring all of this together with our final section, the golden rule. Simply put, stop guessing and start verifying.
This mindset applies whether you're 25 or 85. I absolutely love this thought. The people who avoid the biggest financial mistakes are usually not the smartest people in the room. They're the people who take the time to check. That really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Financial security is built through small, consistent checks, not giant, stressful decisions, not relying on blind assumptions. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room to win at retirement planning. You just need to be the person who flat out refuses to guess. You verify the information, you stay informed, and you deal with the paperwork the minute it arrives.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Since one small action today could literally save you a massive amount of stress and money tomorrow, what is the one financial detail you're going to verify next? Are you going to check your exact state pension age, hunt for gaps in your national insurance record, or maybe review your tax allowances? What small check will you make today? Thanks for exploring this explainer with me, and I really hope this empowers you to finally solve your own retirement puzzle.